Over the last couple of weeks, we have learned that creating an offer for something that you know really, really well is the way to generate significant income. However, did you know there are some common mistakes and pitfalls? Brian's going to share with us the 3 most common things to avoid when creating your offer. Brian, let's go, man. This is a very critical topic. You don't want to make these easy mistakes.
Yeah, this is a big one. And I think before I even get into the 3 mistakes, I want to talk about kind of the biggest mistake overall, okay, before we get into the specificity of the 3. And that is selling the potential client on the process and the pieces versus the payoff for them. So because we're experts at whatever we do, and because we put so much time, energy, and effort into creating this intellectual property, whether it be books and courses and modules and all the things that are important to us within the process and the pieces, we believe that that's the same thing that's important to our potential client, but it's actually not. The thing that's important to them is what do they get as a result of implementing those things? So they could care less how many Trello boards and how many modules and videos that you recorded, because here's what I know about people. People want the least path of resistance to the payoff. So what if I'm just going to ask you this question, Mike. If you had the opportunity to watch one video that could show you how to make $1 million in 12 months, or watch 100 videos that could show you how to make $1 million in 12 months, which one would you prefer?
I'll take the one video. Thank you very much.
100%. But because we fall so in love with our own IP, a lot of the time we think that more is more, but less is actually more. People want the least path of resistance to the payoff.
Yeah, it's funny you bring this up because you know this, but for the audience, I was a commissioned salesperson for 30 years of my career, except for like a 2-year period where I was an accountant after college. I had a commission around my neck, a number, since I was 15 years old, right? And if I didn't hit the numbers, it was always, you could be fired either monthly or quarterly, depending on the job I had. And one of the things that you very quickly realize if you're paying attention is buyers, clients in this example, but buyers specifically, right? People that crack open the wallet. You have to realize that they typically buy with their heart, but they justify with their mind. What do I mean by that in this example? You're selling the vision, the how-to, the what, the end point. That's the heart. You want freedom. You want to spend time with kids. You want to wake up at 10 a.m. You want to do whatever you want to do. You're selling to the heart. But then the mind gets involved, and the mind needs some way to justify the purchase. And that's where the bells and whistles, process and pieces come to be, because the mind will say, okay, I see step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see this, that, and the other. But it always starts with the heart. Most people get that backwards. And, most people buy with the heart. Now, again, I saw some studies. It's something like 85% or thereabouts buy with the heart. There are those hyper rational people that always buy with the brain. But you're missing out on the biggest market if you're not selling to the heart first.
For sure. And I think just to take it a step further, right? If you want to go to the Maldives, they sell you on the bungalows in the water.
Oh yeah.
They don't sell you on a 24-hour flight.
Yeah. three flights, 3 legs, a layover, a canoe ride. Yeah.
And if I had the choice between 7 layovers, although one lands me in Singapore and I've never been to that airport, or I could get there in 3 stops, and save 12 hours, I'm going to probably take the option to get there in 3 stops and say I see Singapore some other time.
Yeah, I'll put it on the list for tomorrow.
I'll put it on the list because I want to get to my payoff sooner. So it's no different when you're building out programs and courses and consulting packages to help people. They won't tell you this, but the reality is they want to get there as fast as possible, as safe as possible. And it's up to you as the expert to be able to put something together to speak to that.
Love it. All right, let's get into the 3 mistakes. What do we got?
All right, so let's do it. So and these don't have to be in any particular order, so I'm just going to say them this way, and you can
Sure.
rank them how you would like. Okay. So the first mistake is this: thinking for the marketplace instead of thinking from the marketplace. Thinking
Mm.
for the marketplace instead of thinking from the marketplace. So what happens is this: many of us were good at something, right? Let's just say, for the sake of this channel, real estate as an example. And because we've done deals for so long, we could do them in our head, we could do them on the back of a napkin. We understand it differently than the people that will be coaching. So what happens is, most of us will go out because we're experts, and we'll just put together all this coursework framework. We'll pre-record modules. We won't include anybody in the process. And then as a result, when we actually go and sell that thing to our potential client, then there's a lot of gaps in their learning. So then they come back and they're like, hey, this was missing, that was missing. And you kind of like, well, no, it wasn't. Because in
Mm.
your head, you understand it differently than your prospect is receiving it.
Yeah.
So you don't want to think for them, you want to think from them. So for many of you, if you're just getting started out with some type of consulting or coaching, you're going to want to go out and ask your ideal avatar, your target audience, a bunch of different questions. What things are you struggling with right now? What resources do you need to better help your situation? What's the biggest thing that's been keeping you from getting started? Right? You want to start to do some surveys, get some question answer going from them, so that then you could fill in the blanks more as you start to go out and create the information.
I couldn't agree with this one more. I go back to when we started this channel, back in 2018. Once you start helping people, you realize what you don't know, and also you learn the craft better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because again, you've got the scars, experiences, and whatever the trail that you blazed. But especially with real estate, there's a hell of a lot more than one trail, right? I wrote a second book with 15 different trails, right? 15 conversations with real estate millionaires, and there's probably 30, 40, 50 more I could write. So yeah, you've always got to step back and realize you don't know as much as you know, and also you're the teacher, but the students got to absorb it. So I love this first one.
Yeah. Communication only happens if the other person understood.
Bingo.
Okay. So mistake number 2, freemium pricing. Okay. Freemium pricing is a big problem. And not just because I'm like, no, you need to charge, which I am that, but it's because if it's free, people want information. If it's paid, they want transformation.
Ooh, say that again.
If it's free, people want information. If it's paid, people want transformation.
Oh, I like that.
And this
Okay.
was something that I had to learn the hard way, as I'm sure you have too, Mike. And started doing a lot of research on this. And the reality is, when people show up to your free thing, your free masterclass, they show up to your YouTube channel, they consume. It's probably people that's been consuming your content for 5 years that hasn't done anything. And this is no knock to them, but they're really just showing up for information. They're not ready for transformation yet.
That's funny. When I no longer do free, because not only do people not show up. So, like, for example, I wrote the best-selling book, One Rental at a Time, first to give away for free. I sent it to 100 people and 2 people read it. Right? I take the time to get it edited, polished, published, and now it's a bestseller on Amazon. It's people don't value free. And the other thing I've noticed with free, when I've done free Zoom calls and all this thing, not only do you get information gatherers, but you also get haters. The world is full of people that will just come and throw tomatoes because they're bored and miserable, and they want you to be bored and miserable. The thing about these bored and miserable people is they're cheap because they're broke. So simply by putting $20 on it, they stay away because they can't afford it.
For sure.
Right. So I love the fact that I put a $20 price tag on it, and all the haters, which are broke, don't show up.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's people don't pay to cause problems typically.
Correct.
Right. So what I found is that a lot of clients that we've been helping over the last year with our coaching and consulting business, many of them have like these free communities, and I'm talking about thousands of people in them sometimes. And they come to us and they're like, I don't understand why when I make an offer, they don't monetize. I said, because they're only in your Facebook group because it's free. They're just looking for information. They aren't looking for transformation. So you have to have a different message to market when you're actually looking for people that are ready to invest in themselves for a transformation. So I just want to caution many of you as you get started. Now, I'm not saying don't go out there and, get some reps in and helping people for free.
Yeah.
Mike
Reps.
and I
Yeah.
have always done that. We'll always do that in the right context.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is don't hang your hat on thinking just because you put something out there for free and you get droves of people that seemingly are interested. But then when it comes time for you to send an invoice because you are doing this to make more money so you could buy more real estate eventually, then those people likely won't be the same ones that'll do business with you. And I don't want you to be taken aback by that. I just want you to understand, if it's free, they're looking for information. If it's paid, they're looking for transformation. And by the way,
That's
the more
very
that people
helpful.
get more familiar with ChatGPT and all the rest of it, I mean, free is getting better and better in terms of information. So
Amen.
this is why we're having these conversations with you about how to go out and successfully build a coaching and consulting business, because you're going to need systems and framework that only you can have as the coach, the expert, that ChatGPT won't necessarily have in terms of the nuance.
Love it. Like it. All right. What's that third and final one?
The third one is this, and this one may hurt.
Oh, no.
Okay. Thinking that passion wins.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
So I've got this formula. Okay. Passion minus wisdom equals poor outcome. Passion
minus wisdom equals poor
outcome. Okay.
Okay.
Passion plus purpose plus proficiency equals profits.
All right. Let's break down that first equation.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm not sure I understand it yet. So passion, I get.
Yep.
What subtracting wisdom? What is wisdom in this example?
So wisdom is the application of knowledge.
Okay.
Right?
I'm with you. Yep.
So when people are passionate about a thing, and you see this most common with new entrepreneurs, most of them
super excited, lightning in a bottle. Yeah.
They all jacked up on Mountain Dew. And then right, I'm just saying, they run around like a bad caffeinated kid, and it's like they end up in a situation.
That's an image, yeah. Tasmanian devil.
But it's not good enough just to be passionate. This is why people start nonprofits that aren't profitable. I'm just saying, right? Because they think that they lead with passion and everybody's supposed to like subscribe to it and all the rest of it. And it's like, no, passion minus knowledge minus wisdom equals poor outcome, which is why my success formula is passion plus purpose plus proficiency equals profit.
So again, I get passion, purpose, I get purpose. Tell me proficiency.
You got to be good at something.
I knew that was coming somewhere.
You got to be proficient, right?
Yeah, that's the thing that I think so many people miss. And this is why this talking offers thing is so important, because everyone has something they're good at. If you're over 30 years old, or certainly over 35 years old, you've done, it could be your day job, it could be a hobby, it could be something, but you are proficient at something and likely have a passion for that. And most people don't realize that combination could be an offer. So many people have an interest in classic cars or wine or Beanie Babies or whatever that, Pokemon cards. There's something there.
Bro, listen to me. The formula does not lose.
Yes,
if you're passionate about it and you got purpose in it and you are proficient at it, that is your profit center. Passion plus purpose plus proficiency equals profits. It could be gardening. You hear me?
It could be.
If you're great in the garden, there are so many people that have the capacity and the financial wherewithal that they would love to start a garden, but what they don't have is time to mess it up.
Yeah.
They will pay you to show them how to successfully go out and do gardening. So it's okay to have passion, but it's got to be purposeful and it's got to be proficient, that you got to be proficient at it. It will be a profit center for you. And so I just want to, before it even gets started, right? I know many of y'all are passionate and God bless you. Okay. But passion without wisdom is going to end up in a poor outcome. You're going to burn through money. You're operating on ignorance, right? Ignorance is just the absence of knowledge and truth. And I encourage you, look at what you're passionate about, but also look at what you're proficient in, because that's going to be the key. You got to be good at something if you're going to help people. Otherwise, it's the blind leading the blind, and that's going to end up in a poor outcome.
Love that. Love that. Brian, you're doing so much good stuff. You're helping people all over. Where can they follow you?
Brian Adamson Official everywhere, man.
Love it.
Take care. And by the way, do us a favor. Leave us a comment if these things are actually helping you to start thinking differently about a profit center you already have within you that you can go out and put out in the marketplace and potentially start making some more money.
Well, you know what? Let's go one better. Why don't you put in the comments below, everybody, what you are proficient at and passionate about? Could be gardening, could be classic cars, whatever it is. I want to see how many of you have something that you can monetize. Thanks, buddy. Take care.
I like that. Thank you.